Hello everybody, my name is Andrew Davis and continuing with my 30-team review for the upcoming 2014 MLB season. We are now in the National League West and evaluating the San Diego Padres under manager Bud Black. Key additions, relief pitcher Joaquin Bennett and starting pitcher Josh Johnson. And there were no major losses in this past offseason. Keys to the upcoming season for the Padres. Houston Street consistency. Now, if you guys don't know already, Houston Street is the closing pitcher for the Padres. Last year he had less than stellar of a season. He blew multiple saves. He almost reminded me of a Jonathan Papelbon. He reminded me a lot like him last year. They're both good closing pitchers. They just had struggling seasons. The only thing I have to say about him is just limit the blown saves. You're going to blow a save. You're not going to have a Brad Lidge kind of season in '08 every single year. I understand that. But just limit the blown saves because the Padres cannot afford to lose games because of blown saves. That's pretty much what killed them last year. Second point. Big year for Cameron Maybin. He's their center fielder, projected starting center fielder. Unless Kristen Orphea somehow steals it from him, but I hardly doubt it. Cameron Maybin, he is an interesting guy. He's obviously getting older in age, and he seems to be almost to me like the Torrey Hunter of the Padres. He's that final puzzle piece that the Padres need to get to the playoffs. He doesn't seem like a big player. He's not. But he's that one player who kind of brings it all together as a group. Because just looking around him, there is talent on this team. I'm not saying there's no talent. I mean, Yonder Alonso at first base, he's finally was noticed last year. Chase Headley, obviously, Everett Cabrera, Carlos Quinton, Will Venable. I mean, there's a lot of good players on this team. Do I think they're still young yet? Yeah, but I'd rather. If you've seen any of my other videos, I stress enough about young and older players. I have no problem with older players, but when your whole team is consisted of older players, just like the Philadelphia Phillies, I said in there, most of the players that are starting this upcoming season, they're 35 years or older. And that's not preparing you for the future. You've got to prepare for the future while trying to build a World Series title contender team. So I think the Padres are handling this very well. And yes, the Padres haven't been great the past few years. I know that. Everybody knows that. But I agree how the Padres are taking care of this. Final point, their starting rotation. And it's not much of a point. I think I just need to address it to everybody. Here's the projected starting rotation as of now. Ian Kennedy, Eric Stoltz, Andrew Kashner, Josh Johnson, and Tyson Ross. Now, looking at that, that is not a bad starting rotation. I would take that rotation any day. The only thing is, Ian Kennedy needs to get back to his best pitching. Josh Johnson has to do the exact same thing. Eric Stoltz is a good pitcher regardless. He's never really had that much of a struggle. And Andrew Kashner and Tyson Ross. Those two are the interesting ones, especially Tyson Ross. Not many people know about him. He's a very young pitcher. He came up through the ranks, and he's just starting out now. They're more than likely going to give him a shot this year because they don't really have much else behind them. Now, the other thing is, too, with the Padres pitching, their relief pitchers, that's a huge, huge issue. Because they only have 4 projected starting relief pitchers as of right now. Obviously, they're going to get more because they're going to get some from the minors during spring training. But, point being, I couldn't even tell you any of these guys from the relief pitchers. Nick Vincent, Dale Thayer, Corey Ludwig, and Casey Kelly. I couldn't even tell you who any of them are. I really couldn't. Maybe that's better for the Padres. Maybe they just need new guys in there because I know their relief pitching was below great last year. Their bullpen was pretty bad. So I don't know if they're just going to switch up everybody because I don't recognize any of those names from this past season. So overall review of the San Diego Padres. The Padres are my big surprise team out of all the teams in Major League Baseball this upcoming season, other than the Miami Marlins, which if you watch my Marlins review, you'll know why. I don't have the Padres winning the division. I have them in second, but I have them in a wild card spot, and I'll tell you why. For years now, these guys are were working through the ranks with these players, just like the Houston Astros are doing now, and you can see how they were. Now the Padres, they've had a few years to get this together, and I think finally they have a team that is in playoff contention. Now they only had, I think, somewhere around like 75 wins last season. I don't think it was anywhere more above that, but I could easily see these guys getting to about 85 wins this year. I think they'll at least get 10 more wins than they did last year. Because I think the National League West is going to be a huge disappointment. I think the whole division is going to be horrible. The only team may be the Dodgers, but I don't even think they're going to do that great. But yeah, second place, wild card spot for the San Diego Padres. Thank you.